And we are back with another Miles Morales what if story. What if Miles Morales became the Hulk? This story is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, and I'm going to tell you guys about it. So stick with me and let's rock. Nah, I'm just kidding. The Miles turning into a Hulk storyline was completely boring. I couldn't bring myself to tell this story, so I'm gonna just speed run it. Miles gets Hulk's abilities. He finds his uncle making a shady deal, and before anything could happen, he loses his head. Literally, the abomination just pops his head like a freaking balloon. And because of this, Miles hulks out. And in that moment, he's filled with so much rage, he beats down the abomination, and not just beating him down. He goes ballistic, drawing actual blood. He takes a life, and he was technically just a child. So yes, therapy, yay. Now let's get to the real story. Miles becoming Thor, because this was a good story. It was so stupid. It was actually good. I'm not even going to lie to you because I had fun reading it. And honestly, I hope you guys will have fun watching it. In this world, Asgard exists, but it's in New York. We are introduced to a Miles that is swagged out, freaking buff, and cool as hell because he is the mighty Thor, beloved by every single person in this city. I mean, he's not like Spider Man, he's not hated in this New York. In this New York, he's practically worshipped. As he was walking on the road, everyone is singing his praises. He is the god of thunder, after all. There is literally a street with murals of his adventures. He went to hell and sacked the fire horde. He partied and freed the dwarves. He was having fun. But today was a different day. Today was his father's jubilee. And his father was going to announce that he was making Thor his official heir. And Thor wasn't ready about it. He hated all the idea of becoming All-Father. He just wanted to chill with his friends and be foolish. And we are introduced to his friends, the Warriors 3, Genki, another black guy, and his girl, the actual granddaughter of the Vulture. If you read the Miles Morales comics, you know why she's everywhere. Because there's no reason she should be like in the multiverse. She's not that important, to be honest. But yeah, Thor came through because he wanted to party, and they offered him a party. But Shorty made it clear that, bro, today is a good day. Today is an important day for you. But he wasn't trying to hit all of that. And his uncle knew it because his uncle came around. And his uncle was Loki. In this world, Loki and Odin are brothers. And usually Loki is always dripped out. So thank God they kept that aspect because his uncle was dripped out. As soon as Miles saw him, he reached out to dab his uncle up. My guy, where you been, bruh? And his uncle made it clear he's been around. But right now, he came to party with Miles. They had an adventure to go on. And Miles was like, bet, I'm down. But Sith Falcon made it clear that, bruh, I'm not trying to be a buzzkill, but you have a big day today. And he was like, I'm the god of thunder. I'll be back. But before they could leave, his uncle had to remind him he was forgetting something. His partner. And Thor just reached out his hand saying, yeah, my bad. And his hammer came flying towards his hand. Mjolnir was totally covered with graffiti. And so they set off on an adventure. But at that moment, we see Odin and Miles' mom, both of them currently gods, were contemplating the influence his brother Loki was having on his son. He didn't like it. But his wife was like, bro, you need to chill. That's your son. And stop calling your brother adopted brother. Maybe that's why you don't like him. Before he could respond, they were interrupted by a guard. Apparently, someone had broken into his vault, and Odin instantly realized, yeah, that could happen because he knew what his brother was like. And at that moment, his brother and his son had gotten to Niflheim, currently located in Detroit. His uncle was dripped out as well, always, because he's Loki. He looked at Miles and said, bro, you don't need no coat. You're the mighty Thor, ain't you? And Miles was like, all right, cool. As they were walking, we realized why he wanted Miles here. At this moment, he just wanted Miles to be a distraction because the gang of gigantic black frost giants had approached and they wanted violence. As soon as Miles recovered, he was like, bro, you trying to punk me? Hell nah. Attacking with all of his might. He got some punches in. Don't get me wrong, but they ganged up on him and they beat him down. Beat him up. His uncle, being his uncle, still had love in his heart for this boy. So he shouted, bro, stop fighting like your father is watching. Fight like you. And as soon as Miles heard this, he went off. I mean, he was knocking suckers out left and right. And I actually wonder where these frost giants are getting these super crazy fades from. God damn. When Miles was done with his beatdown, he saw his uncle carrying a big, gigantic skull. This is when we find out that this skull belonged to the king of Niflheim. Miles had to ask, why the skull? So his uncle reminded him, bruh, your father was literally the god butcher. He killed enough gods to fill a room. And his best kill was this guy right here. As soon as Miles heard this, he was like, bruh, I really don't want to be king if I have to be butchering folks for no reason. Later that night at the party, we see everyone giving Odin gifts. The Valkyrie gave him a flying horse. The god of wolves gave him the best cut of meat ever produced. So Thor wanted to top everyone. Jumping on the table, he unveiled the skull of the giant king. And as soon as his father saw it, he was like, bruh, what have you done? In the corner of the room, we see his brother with the casket of old Winter. And as soon as it was opened, it didn't hold no Winter. He held the soul of the giant king. And as soon as he was unleashed, we see him with his gold chains and his rings. And he was ready to pull Asgard to the ground. Miles saw this and was like, everybody calm down, I'll take care of this. But he was blasted to the side. Loki, on the other hand, while Thor was getting his ass beat, he was asking Odin, why didn't you pick me? Why have you never trusted me? And his brother simply replied, I never trusted you. Because for one, you pull off shit like this. Who does this at someone's party? And his son was literally getting his ass beat at this moment. His hammer was frozen, so he even decided to fight with his bare hands. That was a bad idea because the giant simply just froze him in place. At this moment, Miles was defeated, and the giant was celebrating, feeling himself. At this moment, Loki was like, bruh, do you not care about your son? He's dying. Back your boy, bruh. But Odin said to him, hell nah. If he cannot defend himself against that giant, he ain't my blood. And we see at that moment that Odin was completely right because he was Thor. Miles deciding this ain't no game time unleashed his power. Loki went diving, but Odin didn't move because he knew what his son was capable of. Freaking sitting on his throne with his Tims. His freaking Tims, bro. Thor went absolutely crazy, smashing the head of this freaking giant with every hit. He took the giant's teeth, and when he was tired, he said, come with me, grabbing onto the giant's chain and tossing him with all of his strength to the sky before lighting him up in a thunderstorm. He was Thor for real. The next day, after his uncle was arrested, he wanted to see him off. He wanted to ask him, why did you play me, Unc? You were my guy. And his uncle made it clear, yeah, you soft. I was trying to give you the best pass of your life for you to become king, and you missed it. But we see that he really didn't mean any of that. He just didn't want his nephew becoming a prick like his freaking brother. But Miles was crushed nonetheless. We see him with his shorty before they were rudely interrupted by the Avengers, or rather, the Miles Avengers. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It helps me. It helps me a lot. Thanks. Peace.